Hi guys, Puddin here with the game for you in my Tier 10 US battleship, the Montana. Now, my captain skills are going to be priority target, jack of all trades, adrenaline rush, basics of survivability, basic fire training, advanced fire training, and concealment. My modules are going to be protect my main batteries, longer shooting AA, American accuracy, DAMCOM 1 and 2, and more concealment. Now I do go with an heavy AA build on here, but I will not pick up manual because it's too costly, in my opinion. It would mean I would have to drop a couple skills in order to pick up manual AA, and I just won't do that. I think the AA is fine just the way it is. Now I am divvied up with husband Xanth, and we both kind of thought, you know what, let's go to sea. Let's be the big pushing force at sea. Really didn't feel like playing the 1-2 line because it would actually mean Xanth would have to expose his broadside a little bit more. To any gunfire coming from sea. Sea would be a little bit easier because most of the guys from the enemy team going to B would actually have their guns looking at 1-2 and not at sea. And you know what, just kind of, just supporting Zat. The power of being in a division is, there's two people actually communicating and can focus down targets easier. I see the Moskva, but I figured the Moskva is going to do the Moskva turn down there, go bow in, so I kind of hold my shot. See the Musashi was actually debating whether or not I should just switch to HE for the initial salvo, but I'm like, nah, I'll just shoot. Kind of aim at the nose, maybe hit the gun, knock out one of his turrets. But you know what? I don't get much. We see that the Chungmu is down at B. I do believe, I gotta double check, that they have Yu Yang, so they have two Pan-Asian DDs. So I kind of don't understand what Argo's voice doing, but you know what, at the time I get a little flustered. Take a shot in on the Moskva because, well, why not? The sooner he goes, the sooner the Grozavoid runs out of excuses on why he can't cap anything. And the reason I point this out is this guy's going to be a big jerk in chat. It's a Pan-Asian DD. He cannot torp you. You could sit on that cap all day. The guy can torp at you all day, and he's never, ever going to hit you. He's also going to call out that nobody supports him. Well, maybe if you jumped on cap, we would have supported you a little bit more, but you know what? You're not there. You're not spotting the DD. The only things on this side are Musashi, Hepper, Moskva, Yu Yang, and an all sass. We all know I'll take shots in on DDs when I can. I held my shot there because I knew there was a Musashi down there, and I didn't want to expose too much broadside. I take my shots in on him. It looked like he was moving forward slow. I have a suspicion that he's actually going to gun it, but you know what, he didn't, and I'm kind of like, I don't know where I exactly hit to see what kind of movement he did. Minotaur shooting at me, I want none of that. Get close to the island, try to get undetected, make it hard for him to spot. If something spots these Pan-Asian torpedoes, at least I believe they're Pan-Asian, yeah. Well, I mean, they're all bad for me. But I'm not exactly sure what gets all these spotted. Going to assume it's our Minotaur, he had his Hydra up, because those were spotted at a fair distance. Don't exactly want to push into that corner, especially with all the stuff that they still have at their cap that could punish me. Take a shot in on the Alsace. Now, I knew he was angled up, so I aimed up a little bit high. And it's kind of this point where I look at Zath and go, you know what? You got the Alabama, Montana who have shown no signs or willingness to push up and take any of this damage. I'm not going to sit here and just let all these guys get free shots into me. So I tell them, I said, you know what? I'm going to go behind these guys. If they don't want to move up, I'll just move behind them. Not going to sit there and be a punching bag for the enemy while these guys just sit there and get free damage. Now, I put out one fire because I really didn't at the time. I have a fear of getting set on fire again. Trying to minimize damage done to me. I'm trying to keep as much health as possible. Now, what we're going to do here is slow down the gameplay, hopefully, and the glitch won't come into effect. But blowing up the minimap, as you can see here, we got B. At this point, it tells that, you know what, all those guys that are by their base are going to push in. I can see it now. They're going to push into their base. The 1-2 line guys aren't going to be able to do much against those guys because of the big island. And there really isn't anybody in position to slow them down, stop them, or whatever. So I tell Zath this, you know what, I'm going to start making my way back to cap. There's only the Yu Yang and Alsace really that is on the 9-10 line. I'm like, you got the Montana and Alabama. Maybe they'll get lucky and get a kill. But I'm telling Zath, I'm like, this is what I see is going to happen. I'm like, it's happened before, it's going to happen now. So I am turning to make some sort of stand at our cap to stop this enemy push. Now the only question is, will the enemy do what I think they're going to do? So now we're back into the action, and we're going to find out if this is exactly what happens. Mr. Grozovoy still sitting there bitching about, well, he's just bitching, so kind of at the time he was getting under my skin, and Zath was just like, just ignore him. He's an idiot, and you know what, he doesn't understand what he's fighting or ships, because, I mean, even Zath said he easily could have kept C 3 times over by now, but instead he's running around too busy bitching in chat. I'm going to try to take a shot in on Charles, but this is more of a wing and a prayer. See the Montana, might as well take a shot in on him. But even the Montana is kind of turning, doing a kiting battle or turning away. As you can see, most of those guys that were at the bottom of, well, I guess it would technically be B, but right by their cap, you know, have slowly made their way into be on the B side. Now, those guys on the 1-2 line still have some shots in on them, but you know what? They could quickly and easily lose the shots in on the guys. Now, I'm kind of holding my shots for cruisers. I'm waiting for broadside cruisers because really at this point we're going to lose B. There's no hope of us getting C because the Grozovoy refuses to fight a Pan-Asian destroyer, even though he's got a, you know, backup. I mean, I've shot at the destroyer a couple times. See the Moskva, see him broadside, take my shot, and I'm just like, oh god, I hope these come in and just outright delete this guy. And they do. So, I've taken out their radar, I've taken out an HE spamming ship. Somebody else in chat's like, oh, you know, you can't count on the Montanas. I am one of them. But, you know, anybody who's been paying attention will know that I have been doing what I believe is the best and taking shots in on destroyers when I can. I see the Charles. I notice the Charles isn't going full speed. He doesn't really have his speed boost, and he is messing with his speed. So I luckily get a couple cap resets on them. Rear turrets are going to quickly reload. Might as well take a shot in on him. I noticed there's no black smoke coming out, or the very thick black smoke. So I know this guy isn't using the speed boost. As the Alabama finishes off the Charles. Now, not exactly sure where the Musashi is going or what his intents were. I'm going to assume that it's still the Pan Asian DD that is actually going to be capping C. And then this is when I see the Musashi is actually pushing in the C to try to help with the cap. So while I got the smoke cloud in front of me, I'm going to try to get all of my guns to bear to hopefully catch the Musashi coming out broadside. I would like to get a very, well, I would just outright delete him. Take my shot, but he's actually turning in, so he's going to mitigate most of this damage. Unfortunately, due to the positioning of the Alabama and myself, this guy's going to easily angle up to both of us. But what he's actually doing is presenting full broadside to our Montana. I hear torps, I look, I see it's our St. Louis torping. So I actually try to slow down so I don't get hit by them. I know Sneaky's going to be surprised by this. But our Montana gets a huge hit on the Musashi while Zath finishes him off. Zath popped his radar. I tell him, you know, like, my guns were loaded. Of course, we're communicating this information. Pretty much he asked me if I shot. I said, no, I have both. I have all my guns. He's like, all right, I'm going to radar. I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. Luckily for me, the Pan Asian angled and slowed down. I kind of question why he slowed down when he hit his speed boost, but I'm going to assume as he's playing mind games. Now, instead of trying to get my guns to bear on the Alsace, I kind of want to go dark. I want to sneak around behind this corner, and I want to just obliterate the hipper. Fortunately, not going to be able to go dark because there's a Pan Asian DD and there is the smoke cloud. Now, I'm going to slow this down once again. If you can see the situation through the minimap, there's the Lion, St. Louis, myself defending our cap. There's a Minotaur, Montana, and Zath over by C, but Zath is pushing into more or less D. He has the flank of the Alsace to the south, while the Alsace is bowing to our Minotaur and Montana. I do believe our St. Louis is low on health, but with the position of our Lion, it's going to be questionable whether or not he can actually get shots on something. He's probably actually engaged in either in the Kurfürst or Minotaur, which kind of leaves myself and the St. Louis to deal with the Hipper, the DD that is smoked up, and possibly the Kurfürst. I really don't have shots in on the Minotaur, and I'd rather deal with targets closer. Closer and that have torpedoes and actually do damage. But what I want to set up is more or less a kiting battle. I don't want to stray too far from A. I want to kind of protect it because it's our only cap right now. I'm hoping the Montana Minotaur can get C and then have them swing back to help me at A. I'm hoping the Lion is doing a kiting battle. I don't believe our St. Louis is going to be long for the life. get back into the action and see how this actually all unfolds and see if my plans and predictions come true like they sort of did for the first part. Get my shots in on the Hipper, deal with him, he's gone. St. Louis is still kind of kiting away, but my fear of the Pan Asian DD going to be, he's going to be able to easily come up here and cap and captain test while pushing us away. There's only 2 people targeting me. I'm going to assume Kerr first Minotaur. I see 1, 2, somebody dropped torps on somebody or something. Kerr first is going slow, kind of aiming for his guns, potentially maybe knock out a gun because he did turn into it. Only do 5k, didn't manage to knock out any guns. But I'm going to kind of keep pushing away. I'm going to turn in a little bit because I do believe I have the distance for any Pan Asian torpedoes. I see that I'm plane spotted. That goes away. And I kind of get my guns to bear in the middle, hoping that the Pan Asian is going to turn into me. I'm turning back in to try to, you know what, mitigate any sort of push into air. We haven't seen torps. We don't know where torps are. Was going to take a shot in on the Alsace because I'm thinking the Pan Asian's going alongside the island. I'm thinking the Pan Asian's going across this island here, and this is the area he's spotting me from. I see a smoke cloud over here. I barely see it, and then there comes the smoke cloud right here, which is why, you know, I was keeping my guns trained in this general direction, because if I was a DD, that would be my logical choice. I overturn a little bit, but it's no fault of mine. Luckily, I take 1. And what I mean by no fault of mine, I didn't know when or where he dropped his torpedo. He dropped his torpedoes, so I know his torpedoes have been dropped. There's a smoke cloud, so I'm just going to do a full turn in the hopes that, well, this wouldn't happen. The Kerr first would be able to see me, but I'm going to continue my turn because I'm going to be able to angle up and angled up just in time to where the Kerr first couldn't go through me. Now, because the Kerr first shot, he has the 20-second debuff, which means I get to see him through the smoke, which means I'm going to turn in and look at this guy, you know, get all my guns to bear, and boom, get a nice citadel and a huge chunk of damage done to the Kerr first. But I was able to get all of my guns to bear, and was gonna be able to angle up, or I am still, to where the Kerr first can't hit me. Now I see the Chung Mu and the Kerr first. I put my secondaries on the Kerr first, and I'm gonna try to take a shot in on the actual DD because, well, was gonna kind of hope for a double strike, but I really wanted to get rid of the destroyer because the destroyer is the bigger threat to through this game, or for us. The Minotaur is just paper cutting me to death. The Chomu is hitting me with HE, but because I am angled up against the Minotaur, he's not going to be doing very much damage. He will just sit there and paper cut. As you can see, a lot of those shells are just bouncing. Now, what the Minotaur and Chungmu are about to do, I completely question and have no idea why these two made the decisions that they made. Minotaur's bow in, take a shot in on him. Not sure exactly how he's moving because of all the smoke. Get 3 pens, pick up the Confederate at the same time, but I still have a DD on me. Now, the St. Louis managed to live, but he's retreated all the way to sea. The Minotaur has actually come over back to 8 to try to support us. The Lion has finally made his way all the way up top here. But Death is actively fighting the North Carolina and the enemy Montana as he finishes off the North Carolina. But we are still in danger of losing this game because Montana finishes off Lord Xanth. Minotaur smokes up, and this I agree with. The destroyer should be spotting for the Minotaur to keep us away. But because I am not detected and I have the island that was blocking line of sight, I'm able to make my turn to push back in. We need to push back in and defend A. And then the destroyer smokes up. I haven't shot, so as soon as he's in full smoke, nobody's going to be in position to see me. The lion shoots, but you know what? He's in the back. He's behind me. The biggest threat to them right now is me pushing in. As one set of Pan-Asian Torps passed me up, which means that he is out because he sent one against the Minotaur. Now, at the time, I questioned the Minotaur's decision to go to A instead of pushing, or to go to B instead of pushing in and using his his hydro to get this DD spotted, because the DD wouldn't be able to take care of both of us. But luckily for us, a torpedo comes in clutch for the kill. I'm not exactly sure if this guy's got RPF or anything like that, but hey, you know what? I questioned it, and it worked out in our favor. Managed to pull this game in because the enemy decided to come one at a time instead of just defending the caps they had. They were getting greedy, and there was no need for any of them to come into A. If the Pan-Asian destroyer, instead of coming in to try to cap A, just would have kept people spotted, let us keep A, would have gotten C, no problem, because there's nobody over there. Probably would have gotten A, but more importantly, what he could have done was keep things spotted for the Minotaur to shoot. Get detected, not detected, slow down, stop. No need to push into the Minotaur. He's got torps, I'll never outspot him. So why? Just stop, reverse, win the game, and then go check out the post-battle results. I hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and remember, try not to be quick to judge. Even I was quick to judge. I call it out in the video. And you know what? Sometimes people see situations differently than you do. So really should hold your judgment until the situation unfolds and see if they saw it correctly and you saw it incorrectly. It helps you grow. It helps us become better players and a better community. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We love the replays that you send in. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. And on that note, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.